Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Pinili podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I need to acknowledge because it hadn't happened at time of recording of the last episode, but the actual rebrand update had happened. After I recorded the last episode. But surprise, the Jessica Pinili podcast has had a little bit of a brand identity update. And for me, I'm just very intuitive when it comes to the podcast. Context, I started this December 2017, start of January 2018. And I know it's very popular for podcast hosts to kind of quite literally go season 1, season 2, season 3 of the podcast. But for me, it's just like this seamless. Like we're over 300 episodes now, and the version of me you listen to in episode 45 is going to be completely different from version me of episode 310. And I just like to have show in the podcast as kind of like seasonal changes of who I am. And for me, when I change the rebranding of the podcast, it's not something I take lightly. It's like I said, highly intuitive, and I just felt it was time. And this year has been such a big year for myself personally and more internally, and I definitely will be going much deeper probably towards the end of the year, like deep personal about that. And my year, I'm in a personal numerology number 7 year, which is introspection, slowing down, and just, for me, I'm a manifestor in human design. I'm a Gemini, I'm go. So like, it's confronting this personal year of introspection, but just kind of linking to what I was saying about the rebrand, I've also been really practicing, might not be the right word, strengthening, that's the right word, strengthening my intuition when it comes to business and business decisions. And I kind of lost that along the way over the past couple of years, but it's coming back with a vengeance. So welcome to the rebrand. Nothing much is really changing. I guess the structure of the episodes, I'm definitely going to be more intentional. If you're watching, you can see I have my laptop up. I have always kind of freeballed the podcast. And of course, there have been episodes where I'm like, I've written this down on my phone and I want to make sure I hit each point because I never want to go off on a tangent and I forget. But what I can make a promise to you is in this new season of the podcast is being very intentional with what I bring you, making sure it's very tangible, making it sure it's something where I am so vulnerable and sharing my firsthand experiences. And this has always been a place for me in the podcast to do that in this world of social media and the internet. And I just think having this element, probably every episode, I am going to kind of like just have notes to the side to make sure it is structured in a sense that I don't miss anything. And I always record episodes without fail, and every single time I'm like, oh my God, I should have said that. But I really just want to make it very tangible, very activating for you, and something that actually moves you forward and moves you into the possibilities of your life, your business, your career. That's so important to me. I will not promise an episode every single week. What I can promise is at least 2 episodes a month, but don't worry, it doesn't take away from the content, the juiciness of the content. And that's why I want to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more intentional. What I will say, if there's anything you want me to speak about, or you've listened to an episode and you're like, please, can you speak more about this? If you're watching here on YouTube, let me know in the comments, write what episode or write what topic you want me to go into depth. And I guess the difference for all of you on YouTube between the podcast and my YouTube videos, the podcast is, as I said, quite vulnerable. It's personal, it's opening up, it's more of a unfiltered version of myself. And for all of you listening, send me an Instagram DM at Jess Pinili, or even the podcast Instagram at the Jessica Pinili podcast. Let me know what you're enjoying. Do you love the rebrand? But also, what do you want me to speak about? I love getting messages from you all. It makes my day. I think it's one of my favorite DMs to open when someone is telling me they are listening to the podcast and, they've taken away a lot from it. So slide in, have a chat. Let me know what topics you want to hear or what episodes you want me to go deeper into. And on that note, let's get into today's episode. So I I wanted to bring this episode because I definitely think a theme for me this year on a personal note, personal and business, to be honest with you, is really facing my fears and understanding my fears and using my fears as a mirror and not as something that's like a monster and this thing I can't overcome. And if you feel like you're trying to always hype yourself up when it comes to confidence, if you're trying to just get shit done, if you're trying to just move and you feel like you're stuck or you are spinning your wheels, or you look at your life and you're like, okay, why isn't anything moving in the way that I want it to or in the way I think it should? Then this episode is definitely going to help you. And, the notes that I've written here, just on my notes app, I should have made it. So I use everything, side tangent. Everything that I own in sense of technology, like my MacBook and my iPhone, everything, two things, I use dark mode, but like on all my apps. And every single time I have notes to either do podcast or a YouTube, I'm like, why didn't I turn this to white mode or like the light mode, whatever it's called? Anyway, that was such a random side tangent, but I'm like, okay, let me adjust my eyesight, and I have 20/20 vision. Now, what I want to say about fear is what people don't understand, or what is misunderstood when it comes to fear is really this dissonance between your identities. It's the gap between who you currently are and who you want to be, who you want to become. And we fear, what I've noticed in myself, I've noticed in my clients, I've noticed in friends, we fear success more than failure, because success means change. Success means something different. And so I want you to go back to what I said originally. If you feel like you're pushing through, you're trying to hype yourself up, you're trying to get the confidence, what does that actually mean to you? Like, what is the fear beneath it? And on top of that, what is often spoken about, and I've spoken about a bunch of times as well, is sabotage. When you are living in fear, it could be the fear of being seen, the fear of visibility, the fear of rejection, of abandonment, the fear of failure, fear of success. There are so many. But I think that, an umbrella to all of that, to hold all of those fears, is really like asking, is this really going to work? And that's where we start to fear the success and what's on the other side. But to link this in with what I was saying about self-sabotage is we get into this fear state, right? And just a little rundown. When you look at understanding fear from an emotional perspective, but also a very like hermetic, esoteric perspective, fear is the consequence of past resentment. And our goal really with fear, and you probably haven't heard many people talk about it in this way, is to be able to neutralize the fear and understand how it has served its purpose. And I'm going to go into this because I know it might be a little bit like, what are you talking about? So before we go into it, let's break it down. The first thing is a self-sabotage. When we are living in a fear state and when we are avoiding the things that are actually going to help us get to where we are, right? So for example, a big one I work with my clients on is the fear of being seen. So being visible to your subconscious identity, which is made up, this is my woman mastery methodology, is made up of two things. It is made up of, number one, your belief system. So your belief system, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about the world, your perceptions, etc. Number two is your nervous system, and it's your nervous system's capacity, your tolerance to experience dysregulation, aka change. So what is seen mostly on social media, this pop psychology, is, you just got to calm and regulate your nervous system. That is kind of like the module to help you. It's like making a calm nervous system state, but actually regulating your nervous system. And how I teach my clients is, how do I expand my capacity to tolerate more dysregulation? Because you're going to think about it. If in business you are hitting $10,000 months and you want to make $50,000 months, it's like stretching a balloon. And this is how I talk about the nervous system. I have for years and years and years. If you go back on old podcasts, I explain it like a balloon. So what happens when you are blowing a balloon up? you start to expand it, and it gets to a point when you're blowing up this balloon where all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, if I keep going, it's going to pop in my face. And you start to freak out. So what do is you stop blowing up the balloon and you let out a little bit of air, and that's it. You tie it up and away we go on to the next balloon. That's our nervous system, right? And that's what I mean by expand our capacity, is we have to get really good at getting to that edge, right? Where we blew the balloon and we thought it's going to pop us in the face. But in real life, we need to get to that part. And that is when we do the calming, the breath work. That's where we stabilize. It's really about stabilizing a brand new normal. That was a bit of a tangent about what it means about nervous system capacity, but it's important for this whole conversation. So when we look at subconscious identity work, and this is what I do with my clients, it's about understanding both of those aspects and how it's affecting you. Of course, whatever is held in your body somatically, nervous system, whatever is in your belief system, what you picked up, this creates your internal programming. And when it creates your internal programming, what starts to happen is the internal programming is like a hard drive, and it starts to tell you what you believe, how you should act, what's your behavior. And so, for example, if we picked up that, when we spoke out loud, we were going to get into trouble, this kind of internalizes, it takes a bit of the hard drive and it says, all right, don't speak up because that's a bad thing. People are going to reject you and they're going to judge you. We file that away, and then as an adult, this turns into a fear. And so even though we want to go viral on social media, for example, or we want to, grow our audience, we will do things which is self-sabotage. And I'm going to explain that in a second, in a different aspect. But we will do things to keep ourselves small, just relating to the fear of being seen, right? And we will keep our content shit enough and unlikable enough so it doesn't go viral. Or we will delay, or if we do go viral, people are commenting, they want to work with you, and then you ghost your audience, things like that. Now let's go to the self-sabotage part, and this is all going to tie into together, but it's important that I give you some context. So the self-sabotage part means two things really. Self-sabotage, and I actually wrote this down in my notes. Let me get what I wrote. Self-sabotage is fear that is just sitting there. It's preventing you from doing the thing that you want to do. That's what self-sabotage is, definition number one. Or number two, it is also something that is not in alignment with your values. So you are infatuated with it, you have a fantasy about it. So that's a way that I want you to think of self-sabotage is, yes, it's just a fear sitting there and you're avoiding facing that fear. Or two, really, it isn't in alignment with your values. So something to think about there. Now, back to, and this is why I'm structuring the podcast. See how I go on a rant, but this is important. The thing is, you don't need to become fearless, right? You don't need to just fake it till you make it, which has no substance most of the time. You just need to become very fluent in what your fear is. And when you do understand that, the process that I want to teach you is going to really help you neutralize and understand how to work through that. So some real life examples is like if you have a fear of launching in your business, you have a fear of being seen. If you have a fear of love, you have a fear of losing autonomy or being vulnerable. So think about this. And a question to prompt you is, what does having what I want secretly threaten in me? What does having what I want secretly threaten in me? And think about that, because fear comes from an identity who you once were. And you're obviously trying to be someone different. You're trying to get the promotion. You're trying to meet the love of your life. You're trying to get more money, etc. But it's threatening a version of you that's kept small or almost succeeded, almost got in there, still working out. Going back to what I said at the start, it's this identity dissonance. So understanding that you're battling against two versions of yourself, subconscious and the conscious. The conscious, you really want the $50,000 months, or you really want that promotion to CEO, or you really want to commit to this person you've been seeing. But your subconscious is telling you, no, you have to work harder for money, or, people are going to reject you if you actually start to put out that type of content, and you're going to be abandoned. Or if you're vulnerable to that person, they're just going to break your heart and leave you. So think about how who you want to be is challenging who you once were. And because who you once were was safe, was something you needed to survive. It's quite literally, fear is quite literally a survival mechanism. I need you to remember that. It is a survival mechanism. And so if your body is quite literally just trying to get you to survive, it thinks that it's doing its job. And we're going to, yes, go through a process, but also just kind of go into how do we expand that, right? So first thing is we really want to neutralize our fear. So to neutralize our fear, we want to take the fear, right? This is really, really important. And I do want you to go away from this. I need to also credit one of my mentors, Lewis Mocker, for helping me with this process and kind of shining the light on esoteric work, hermetic work, and coming to my own conclusions and my own methodology. So I want you to think of the fear you have. Think about right now what fear is top of mind. I know that you may have many, or there's a few bobbing around, but I want you to think right now what that fear is. Maybe you have a fear of posting the content. Maybe you have a fear of dating. Maybe you have a fear of failing if you go to the gym. So think about the thing you want to do and you keep stopping yourself. Really, that's the starting point. What is it that your higher self, the ideal desired version of yourself, really wants to do, but subconsciously you keep keeping yourself small and shrinking yourself so you don't do it? Think of that. Then we attach the fear to it. And I want you to think of only attach one for now, right? Just to make it super simple. So again, for example, this, just because this is fresh in mind, I help my clients through this all of the time. If you are too scared to post the content, but you are wanting to start a business and start a brand, and you're just not posting the content because you're like, fuck, what are people going to say about me? What are my family going to say? Like, am I going to get laughed at, etc., etc. I need you to associate that with just one fear. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood. Like, make it very, very, not niche isn't the word, but specific. That's a better word. I need you to make it, the more specific, the better. So think about that. Think about what it is that you desire, but you're not working towards because unconsciously it doesn't look safe for your body and your belief system. And then what fear is this? Then I need you to take some time, not too much time, but I want you to take some time to actually go back and try and remember. And the closer you can get to the first memory, the better. And this may take a few tries, more than a few tries, trust me. And with different fears I've had doing this, some have come very easy and popped to the front of my mind. Others, I'll be randomly doing something like 6 months later. I'm like, oh, I remember that. Or it comes up to me while I'm walking or something like that. So now take the fear. So if it's a fear of judgment, I want you to try and think of the first time or let's say fear of rejection. So the first time that you remember experiencing that, like, go into your mind, get very visual, get very visceral, go back and take yourself there. And not just like, oh yeah, it was in school and I got laughed at. No, like, take me back to the scenario. This is what I do with my clients. Really, really take me back to the scenario. So you have a fear of rejection and you can remember that you were in a classroom and you were 10 years old and the teacher asked a question and you put up your hand and you said the answer and it was wrong and everyone laughed and everyone was laughing in your face and calling you stupid and calling you an idiot, and you felt rejected from the tribe, aka your school community, and you internalized that internalizes into a resentment. This is what I said at the start, right? A fear stems from a past resentment. This then creates a resentment where you store it away, where you've attached, oh, I spoke up and that got me rejected. And so speaking up or being visible or sharing my opinion or sharing my knowledge or what's on my mind is not safe. I'm going to get rejected. The resentment. Then let's say now you're 35 years old and you are trying to begin a business, build a brand, post content. You may think, oh my God, like I just need more discipline. I need more willpower. I just need to do better. Look, just a side note on the content thing, because I think it's important for me. And again, applicable to anything. It doesn't matter if you're in business or corporate. Create the scenario that suits you. On the content thing, I do need to say, as someone who does so much strategy for business owners and brand founders, is starting the momentum of just posting is important. I do need to say that. But on that, so right now you are wanting to try post content, but you keep calling yourself a perfectionist. You keep saying it's not the right time. You keep saying, oh no, these brand pillars aren't correct. And it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're unmotivated. It's not because you lack discipline. Really, at the heart of it, these habits that are creating you not to create the content and post it is because it has turned into a fear of rejection. And part of that fear of rejection has come from when you were 10 years old in the classroom. Now, when you've got that, that's not the end of it. We need to neutralize it. Now, when you understand that one memory, and you do this per memory, so you may have a fear of rejection and you have 100 memories associated with it. Do this process with all of them. You take that memory and you stack up both the benefits and the drawbacks. Now, because it's a fear, the drawbacks are probably going to be the easiest, the drawbacks of the situation. And like I said, you need to get very visceral. Don't just be like the drawbacks of people laughing at you at school. No, that particular moment, the drawbacks of you putting up your hand, saying the wrong answer, and people laughing at you. Then you need to stack up the benefits. The more that you stack up drawbacks and benefits, you want to stack them up until you're at a neutral state, until you feel at peace. You want to stack them up until you can see the situation for everything it is, not just what your mind has created, not just the narrative your mind has created. You need to see a 360-degree view of the entire situation that created a resentment that has now created in your adult life a fear that is very real and a fear that is holding you back every time that you want to move forward. So you keep stacking it up. And if you stack up, let's say 10 drawbacks, 10 benefits, and you're still like, I always do the charge out of 10 too. Like, how charged does this make you? How upset, how angry? And maybe this example I'm giving makes you 8 out of 10. If you've stacked up 10 benefits and drawbacks, and then from that you're a 7 out of 10, it's not enough. You haven't seen the situation for what it truly is and for what it has created in you. Now, there's a lot of nuance to this. And obviously, I go through this process holding space and capacity for my clients. So I really do need to preface this. Lots of nuance, but it works. It absolutely works. And when you're able to neutralize a fear and you're able to neutralize more so the situation, the charge that it came from, and created that in your body somatically, which then created your belief system creates your personality creates your habits create your identity, then you will be able to, number one, understand yourself so much better. But number two, you are able to actually work past that and gain the momentum that you really want to do. Now, I would recommend going over and re-listening to that whole section of me explaining that, because that is probably the most important part that you are going to get out of this podcast episode. And what I want to finish with is saying, when we are doing that, we neutralize and we're just doing the thing. So now we are posting the content, or now we are actually putting our hands up in board meetings so we can eventually get promoted. Or now we are actually actively going on dates and feeling really good and grounded. It's now normalizing your capacity. And I'm just going to give you a very, very simple way that I do it that is so simple that it sounds stupid. And it's like, okay, is this too easy? Is this too simple? No, this is it. I want you to take several pockets of the day. 30 seconds is all you need. If you can do longer, absolutely do it longer. I do a very long one in the morning as I'm waking up. Take the scenario of your ideal situation. So maybe it's you've hit 10,000 followers. Maybe it's you've met the love of your life and you're having a conversation saying you're exclusive. Maybe it's you have been promoted. Maybe it's you are, think of something specific. So a lot of people go to like money, like, yeah, more money. No, just be more specific. What are you going to do with that money? Maybe it's like a brand new car. Go to that part where you have the brand new car, and this is where we kind of like up level a visualization game, and visualize it. Get very particular. Get into your head, like if it's a car, like what does it look like? What does it sound like? What color is it? You know, where is it parked? Is it parked on the driveway you have, or do you live in an apartment? You need to go down a basement and take it. Get specific. As you're doing that and visualizing, hand over heart, other hand over your stomach, and I need you to breathe in and quite literally, if you can, speak out loud and say to your nervous system, we are safe. I'm talking to you. We are safe. We are safe to receive this, and breathe. We are safe. And keep visualizing and keep connecting and keep saying to your nervous system, it's okay. We are safe. And breathe through whatever tension is coming up. And keep doing that until you feel some state of neutrality, some state of bliss. Relax your body, but quite literally speak, hey, nervous system, we are okay. We are so safe to receive this. We are so safe to experience this. It's okay. You're not in danger. You're not going to get eaten by a tiger. We are protected. You are okay. I promise you, if you took that piece of advice that I just gave you and you did that 3 to 5 times a day, 30 to 60 seconds a day, come back to me in 30 days and tell me how you feel. Come back to me and actually tell me how your life is looking and your business and your career is looking. Most people are going to skip this. They're going to skip it because it sounds too simple. It doesn't sound big enough or extravagant enough to do something like this. But I promise you, this is something that has changed my life this year. And guess what? When I did it just before my birthday, mid-May, and I'd been doing it consistently, so I didn't just do it one night and this happened consistently. I went very viral with a TikTok video. It brought in so much business. It brought in a huge new audience. I was flooded with hundreds of inquiries. I added hundreds to my lead magnet and my email list. I made over 5 figures in sales in 4 days. I was going to say a week, but it was actually like 3-4 days. It works. I promise you, the things that I'm sharing with you, it works. I've seen it work not just for myself, but with my clients. And it requires, one of my notes, I'm just like checking over my notes to make sure I've gotten everything. Remember, facing fear gives you a win, but it's about repeating it, but not just this mindful, like, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. No, you feel it. The key that people miss is feeling it in their body. Like, you can't just look in a mirror and go, I'm safe and safe. Like, literally what is happening in your body somatically when you say that is important. Let me just check my notes to make sure. But I hope, honestly, that you got so much from this episode. I hope that you take this and you listen to it anytime that fear comes up, anytime that you're like, oh my God, I need more discipline, or I need more confidence, or why can't I just get shit done? Listen to this, do these exercises. Go back to where I started speaking about the process of being able to neutralize. Listen to it, do it. I promise you, tap into your nervous system. If you feel like you've done everything, if you feel that you have tried everything, try this and try it consistently. That this is the one thing, try consistently, and your body will hate change, your mind will hate change, but it is the thing that is going to make a world of a difference. I absolutely promise you. I just feel so good about sharing this episode, and there's bits and pieces that I have shared before, but it's so nice to like do a unfiltered, just talk channel. That's the word I'm looking for, like channel where I can just really, really share this, and you can all hear my emotion in this. Before I let you go, what I do want to say is, number 1, I appreciate you so much. Number 2, if you love this episode, take a screenshot, post it onto your Instagram story, tag me, tag the podcast, let me know what you loved about it. And like I said, slide into my DMs. I love it. And let me know what topics you want me to talk on. Share the podcast love around. It's important. in the description box below YouTube, and for Spotify, Apple, etc., wherever you listen to this, there will be a link there that I'm going to put for this episode. It is to join a waitlist. This is the first time I'm publicly speaking about this, but the waitlist is for something that is my life's work. Woman Mastery HQ, the membership. I'm very excited. If you are watching me on camera, you can see how much I just lit up. Woman Mastery is all about combining what I do best, CEO strategy and subconscious mastery. It's for business owners. It's for corporate women. It's about turning your ideas into profit, doubling your income, being able to overcome the patterns upon patterns, being able to work through the fears. Like if you love today's episode, you will love the membership. And the waitlist is below. I highly recommend that you join it. When I say that this is my life's work, this is going to be the only way moving forward that you can work with me, unless you apply for a one-on-one high-level spot. But in this membership, it's really about teaching you how to utilize a strategic lens in life, biz, career, but being able to have the subconscious identity that backs it up. You can have the best plan in the world, the best Notion board, the best vision board. If you don't have an identity that backs that up, you fall short every single time. And this is my life's work in this membership. I'm so excited. Join the waitlist. We open in a couple of months. There are going to be lots of resources, of course, but the meat and potatoes of it are really the two different calls you get access to. You get access to both when you join, by the way. Business ones, whether you are starting a business or whether you are making 100K a month, we are going to be doing brand audits, content audits. We are going to be doing sales page, messaging, all the things that makes a profitable brand. Content, messaging, cash, like a sales ecosystem. And then on the other side, you will also get calls when it comes to mindset, identity, subconscious mastery. This is where we really get into your subconscious and go through in depth, right? Q&A, hot seat coaching, but also in real time workshopping together processes like I taught you today. Like this one I taught you today will be in the membership, but it will be the expanded version, right? This is a shortened version for the podcast. And on the business side, you will have me there as someone to guide you through the next level of your business or the beginning of your business. I'm so excited for this because I feel like it is really everything I've been creating in this business over the past 6.5 years. So if you are loving the sound of that, join the waitlist below. Trust me, get on it. And I'm really excited. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.